But before we get into this video guys, join my Discord server. Okay, that's it. Enjoy the video. This is probably the only time I make a video so different from my usual stuff that requires a script. How are you all doing today, gentle viewers? Are you feeling that magical Christmas vibe? Because this video is nothing related to Christmas at all. I just happened to get this idea now, but nonetheless, today we're talking about ULTRAKILL mods. The funniest ones to be precise, and the custom weapons from the funniest ones to be even more precise. ULTRAKILL has mods of any kind, from simple dialogue mods that make the Prime Souls tailored to go unalive yourself whenever you go back to P rank him, to literal acid trips that come with the risk of death if you play them when you're high. And it's all about the goofiest weapons from the best custom weapon mods today, but you're gonna notice that most of these weapons are gonna be from just 2 mods really. I mean, out of the entire 4 custom weapon mods we have, one I could never play with and another one isn't even good. There's probably more, but I just didn't feel like searching and decided to work with the ones I'm already familiar with. So you've already read the title of the video correctly, you know what's up. Starting from number 10 of the best funniest custom weapons, we have the Ultra Ball. It is a red basketball that you can throw at inhumane velocities and retract with inhumane powers. Have you been seeing all those balling memes on the internet and wanting to experience those personally? Well, with this ultra balling basketball, it is very much possible. However, you're probably noticing right now that all the footage with the Ultra Fun Guns mod installed is not at 60 FPS. This is all because Hakira just can't help but absolutely ruin mods whenever he updates ULTRAKILL, and Ultra Fun Guns has been broken for a while now, so you have to pretend that this is at 60 FPS at all times due to Akira's unnecessarily shitty coding, alright? But anyways, with this Ultra Ball, you can straight up yeet it at your enemies, outplay your enemies with insane plays, and absolutely dunk on your enemies. What more could you ask for? I mean, really, what more could you ask for? This is just a ball. I guess you could edge it if it so pleases you. And moving on to the funniest weapon, number 9, we have the custom golden arm from the Time Stop mod. It is exactly what you're imagining this thing can do. As a clear JoJo reference, it can stop time for however long you want, which allows you to set up whatever scheme you have in mind. And by the time you're done with the frozen time, you're probably gonna be doing way less damage than you expected. Speaking from experience, by the way. But other than that, it can be funny in a way that you can even crash your game if you go slightly overboard when you unfreeze the time. Also speaking from experience, by the way, you can also use it to capture comedic moments just before a disaster, or to simply trivialize the hell out of the hell that you're passing through. And that's about it. And the 8th funniest weapon after this, I believe, is the classic brick. Throw this cinder block at your local fields the same way you throw a cinder block at your local residence.
Hey Watson, cinder block!
You also have a comically endless supply of them, and for some reason also have brick bending abilities that allow you to get all your bricks in one spot and shatter enemies like Sisyphus Prime's bones in 5 million different ways. To brick them up, if you will. Pretty funny if you ask me. And what could be funnier, you're asking? Well, let me tell you by introducing the 7th funniest custom weapon, in my opinion, which is the Gmod Admin Gun, aka the Ultra. This absolute madness of a gun can shoot millions of bullets per second. It is the fullest auto mode that the Druid Knight can only dream of achieving. If you have this gun in your hands and you know an enemy is in a certain direction, it's gonna remove that direction. You see Gabriel? Brrr. You see Munos Prime? Brrr. You see Sisyphus Prime telling you to go undo yourself? Brrr, make that shitter eat his words. This gun is the gun to use to P-rank every level on Brutal and lying about this legitimacy to your friends without proving anything to them. And speaking of lying about legitimacy, the 6th funniest weapon is the paintbrush from Banana Studio's paint mod. Now, it's not legit because it's really not a weapon that does damage. However, it's still pretty entertaining. A couple examples I can give as to why I think that is are: 1, you can take the world is your canvas, so take your brush and paint the world red deal literally, and actually start painting the world red without any killing involved. You can also act like a 5th grader in school when the teacher is not looking and start drawing a flower. Start drawing your flower. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Or you can use it to paint other enemies and show it to them to impress them and have a chance at receiving their mercy if they're not somebody you can beat. You can even paint other people you might know inside the game for some reason. Like that one time I used Banana's own mod to paint Banana to show Banana, and Banana actually liking that Banana drawing featuring Banana. But anyways, moving past this totally not a non-weapon, we have Charles himself as the 5th funniest weapon. Now, if you don't know who Charles is, leave your house under the rock for a second and listen. He's from the Henry Stickmin collection, and he always, and I mean always, has the greatest plans in the whole game. The evidence is that he says it himself too.
I got the perfect plan. This is the greatest
plan.
Must be true. Now imagine that, but in ULTRAKILL. You get a remote on your hand and when you use it, this happens.
I got the perfect plan. This is the greatest plan.
You select Charles' landing location to magically summon him to one-shot anybody that gets in his way, including yourself. Now that's pretty funny. However, there's a small problem. Charles can only land in the most open spaces possible, so that's about only 20% of all the ULTRAKILL levels. I tried summoning him in a closed arena and Charles was having some minor inconveniences regarding reaching Minos Prime because of how high up he spawns from. So you can barely use this weapon, but I'll admit it's still pretty damn funny. Speaking of pretty funny, the fourth weapon on this list is your own voice. You heard that correctly. We have advanced so much in modding games that even your own voice can be lethal to enemies in the game, all thanks to TondarYZD's Blows Up Filth with Mind mod. Truly a master at his craft. Now unfortunately, I got bad news regarding this mod because as it turns out, the latest update broke this mod and now I can't fucking show it. Akira, you son of a bitch, I've just about had it with you breaking every— Wait, hold on. I just got an update after writing the script. I uninstalled this mod and then reinstalled it and now it's working again. But I am still upset at Akira though. So as I was saying, if you go into the mod settings and enable fun mode, you can weaponize your voice whether it sounds good or bad. You can absolutely make enemies fall in eternal torment with this mod. Cosplay as Minos Prime by spamming die at enemies, or Sisyphus Prime by keeping saying destroy. Either of which will result in everything around you getting absolutely atomized. It even gets funnier based on what words you say too. For example, you can sing Never Gonna Give You Up by recasting to have your enemies be in even more misery because they're being obliterated while also being rickrolled. I remember the other day I had a concert going and, well, let's just say it didn't go as well as I expected. Alright, everybody, we're about to start. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in this thing. Now it's time for our top 3 on this list, starting from the third weapon, which is the Sonic Reverberator, aka the Moyai gun for simpler terms. Personally, I put this on the third weapon due to the fact alone that it plays the Vine boom sound effect whenever it fires, and that is my favorite sound effect. The use of this gun is pretty simple. You start charging it up by using the alt fire and then use primary fire to use it with its power and knockback to yourself, scaling with how long it was charged for. I thought for a long time that the pink charge level was its max until a year later when I was informed that it has a charge level after that too, and the first time I looked at it, it looked menacing to say the least, and using it went like this. So yeah, pretty funny weapon overall. Now the second funniest custom weapon on this list, which every second of using it is funny as hell, is this random hammer that Ultra Fun Guns added when I wasn't looking. Damn, yet another thing from Ultra Fun Guns. This mod is acting like the Expedition 33 of this list over here. The reason using this big hammer is funny is because it does the funniest effect I've ever seen. You make enemies flat with it. I mean, usually because it also does a lot of damage, it ends up killing them, but when enemies do survive, they get the same width as your mother. It is absolutely beautiful. You can even do arguably the best action possible in ULTRAKILL with it. Let me explain. You take a mind flayer and double its size with the modifier spawner arm and then pull up the hammer and— damn, that's one thick lady. This is exactly what Akira wanted. Ooh, you know guys, all this reading off a script is low-key stressful, and I gotta go blow off some steam with this mind flayer for no reason real quick. I'll be right back. And finally, it is time to show you all the funniest custom weapon of all time. When I laid my eyes upon this beauty of a mod, I knew then and there that we have reached the absolute peak in modding. It is truly one of, if not the best mod that Banana Studio has ever created, with the help of my thumbnail maker of course. And that weapon is, without a doubt, none other than the Blades of Chaos from God of War, baby! These weapons are incredible, and I mean incredible. You know they're not funny, I know they're not funny, but they are just incredible. What, you thought I was gonna give the first spot to an actually funny weapon? I planned this whole video just so I can give the #1 spot to the Blades of Chaos because God of War is my favorite franchise of all time. I even went so far as to make my first video that needs a script just so I can put this weapon on the first spot. All solely because I want this mod of Banana Studio to get more attention. I would do anything for this man. I owe my whole career to him. But I mean, like, these weapons are also funny in some cases. Think about it. You go to Gabriel and he keeps boasting how the will of God is gonna stop you, and then you pull out the Blades of Chaos and he will know that it is over for him because of Kratos' reputation. Still not convinced that this weapon is the funniest weapon of all time? Well, that's it, buddy. You don't get to think for yourself here. I'm gonna show you what happens to those who don't think the #1 spot belongs to the Blades of Chaos. You will agree with me, and you will think that the Blades of Chaos are fun. Thank you all, my whole 2 channel members, and thank you all who have watched this video up until this point. Let me know what you think are some of the other funny custom weapons that worth mentioning in this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Merry Christmas to you all, and take care.